Okay, and good afternoon, folks. Today we're going to be reviewing the I-16 Improved, which is the uh, Level 4 Soviet multi-role fighter. Couple of things that are historically about this aircraft was it was a child of 1933, and it shows in many ways. It was quite the fighter when it was created. It actually fought in the Spanish Revolution with the Republicans and the Nationalists. The Nationalists won that battle, or won that war, I should say, and Generalissimo Franco assumed control of the country. Um, they were friendly with the Axis power, but enough of that. Let's move on to the I-16. It had a lot of popular names. It was called Rata for rat by the Spanish pilots that flew it, and it was called the Fly by those that opposed it. Uh, the Soviets called it the Donkey because its name in Russian I-16 sounded like donkey is apparently. The aircraft shows that kind of mixed heritage. It had a spar wing of steel, stressed aluminum, which was quite advanced at the time it was created, and a fairly minimal armament. You also notice how short the body of the aircraft is and how large the wing is. It was very maneuverable, but it required and demanded pilot expertise. It was a plane that had to be flown constantly. It tended to wander around because it had what was called latitudinal uh, instability. It tended to wander. It also had a tendency to stall and to dip a wing very quickly and try to go into a spin. If you left the controls alone, it would quickly come out of the spin. But it was a difficult aircraft to fly. It was always underarmed, and that's not well represented in the game. But it soldiered on into. It would be featured in the Finnish War. It would be featured in the Japanese Russian conflict, and it would soldier on through World War II. Its main competitor was the Messerschmitt Bf 109 E and later F, and then it was moved into rear areas where it was not so critical anymore. It's kind of a rear guard type of situation. It was unfortunate in the fact that the E was faster. This aircraft was normally max out around 200 to 290 miles per hour in real life, and it was being confronted with aircraft that were, and the ML could hit 350 miles an hour, so it was giving up quite a bit. The later F version of the ME 109 was actually even faster. So that left a great deal to be desired because you only had a turn radius, which, while fantastic, is hard to counter when you have multiple aircraft coming at you. And that is reflected in the game. You'll find that you're going to struggle a little bit in this aircraft because you're going to quite often be matched up with Tier 5 fighters that are much faster. It will hold its own against other Tier 5 or Tier 4 fighters quite well. It does have some ground attack abilities. The 6 rockets are quite handy, and you can help your teammates out that way. Once it's done, you are going to have to watch very closely to keep other enemy aircraft from bouncing you. Against all the heavy fighters, you're going to find that they are not going to mess with you. They're going to attack from distance in a dive and then climb away. Any Tier 5 fighter worth its salt is going to hit you at high speed and simply get out of the area and then come back at you. And if they're working in groups, which you'll see quite often here in World of Warplanes, life gets very tough. This is going to be a fighter that you're going to be struggling with a little bit depending on the quality of your opposition, and you'll see that here. I've already upgraded this, so it has the upgraded engines. It's going to be about as fast as it's going to get. It's got the rockets, it's got all the extra machine guns that actually didn't exist in reality. So they've upgraded it some so to keep it competitive, but it's a very, very long way from being what you would want it to be. Alright, so we're going to go, looks like they're heading off and splitting into two. I think we can do more good at the airfield. And I'm going to hope that we get some more cover once we take this airfield. That will help me with enemy fighters. And we'll see how we do. I've had very good games in this one. I've had horrible games in this. The lack of the I-16's ability to chase after aircraft and to bring them down quickly has been a problem. Go ahead and launch a couple of rockets here. And we'll take it out. Alright, so I have a rocket left, and I'm going to have to defend myself here. You'll notice how quickly this thing turns, which is its one saving grace. It is not as fragile as, for instance, the Nakajima KI-43. It's got 20 points more of survivability, but that's not saying a whole lot. It does not take very long for this aircraft to come to pieces. It does have the ground attack ability, and that's actually useful, but in a highly contested zone where you have aircraft coming at you from every direction, I would suggest as much as possible to make your attack, get in, get out, and never stop turning. Otherwise, life is going to get difficult. You'll notice that I am immediately turning, and that's out of self-preservation. You have no ability to climb. Its high altitude performance and its climb performance are nothing short of pathetic. But it is a very maneuverable aircraft. You can give it that. That will not help a great deal in the fact you need to always keep your eye out if you're contesting for a zone. Alright, we're going to try and make an attack here. We do. But again, the aircraft is very quickly out of range, and again, we're going to go into an immediate turn, try to help our ally here, see if we can get close enough to be of some assistance. But because the boost is very short, we really can't help. Now the aircraft is in range. Its armament is actually fairly efficient, and if you can keep the aircraft in range long enough, you can do some damage, but I don't get the idea that you're ever safe in this aircraft. You are not. Alright, we've actually gotten our rockets back. We can go and attack something else, which in this case is probably our Soviet friends. We've got very few aircraft over here and a lot of enemies. It's not a good situation for our Rata. So we'll see what we can do. Trying to support the attack here. Had a little luck there. will wear down another aircraft in a hurry, which is also not accurate, but we'll take what we can get. We need all the help we can get in this. Our engine's back in operation, and we've collected all 3 points. So this looks like this will be a success. One thing you can try if a heavy fighter decides it wants to head on you is you have rockets. And this is an aircraft that very much can fire some heavy rockets at a heavy fighter incoming, and might have some success there. If nothing else, you might deter them from making a heavy fighter from making an attack for you. So we did win there. We've had more success than I have experienced in the past. Um, it's a fun aircraft if you can keep it at tier 4. Unfortunately, most times you're going to find yourself with a mix of 4s and 5s. If you get really unlucky, you'll be facing a lot of tier 5s, and you're going to struggle mightily. This is, but we had some success. We had good teammates this time, and it worked out well. Alrighty, so there we go. Take a look at what we actually won. We only got the flying start, and I didn't take it down a whole lot of aircraft, which is not surprising. It's very hard to take aircraft down when they can choose the range. Alright, so we took down 4, assisted with 2, and took one sector. And teams that came in about mid-tier, that's about all that can be expected with this. Hope you have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to like the video if you do, and to subscribe. I'm a new content provider, and I can use all the help you can give me. Do appreciate you.